Hello, all you lovely people. I'm back with another YouTube video. In this video specifically, I'm focusing on creating stamps. My friend actually signed up to take a lino cutting class in the city, and it kind of inspired me to want to do it myself here back at home. So in this video in particular, I'm going to go in depth talking about some of the processes that I did making these stamps, what stuff I've stamped on, a whole bunch of stuff. In the beginning of this video, I'm actually going to just sit here and kind of narrate what I was doing, because at the time when I was making this particular stamp, I didn't really want to do a voiceover. Sometimes when you're making art, it's all about just making the art. I wasn't in the mood to kind of like go through it, do all the clips with a voiceover, etc. So I'm going to sit here and kind of talk through what I did. So basically, at the beginning, the first stamp that kind of made me want to continue making a whole bunch for this video was this guy in particular. I made a design of a woman with flowers coming out of her head. It's kind of probably hard to see from here, but I'll cut to some of the closer ups of this stamp in particular. When making this stamp, or like wanting to make the stamp, I was looking through a lot of YouTube tutorials of what I should do to get started, or what was the best way to transfer the design onto the stamp, because that's the biggest challenge in my opinion. Or like going into it, how I would do it was how I would take a drawing that was like on my iPad or in my sketchbook and then actually transfer it to the lino block so then I could carve it and make a physical stamp with it. So after going through sort of a bunch of different tutorials, I found this one where it told you to use like this golden acrylic matte medium or gloss medium, whatever you had. And basically what you did was you put the gloss medium, or the particular medium that you have, on your lino block first, and then you basically glue the design that you print off from your printer face down, so the design is facing the lino block onto it. So you're basically, it's like Elmer's gluing it to the block. Then you let it dry, and then once you let it dry, you take a little container of water and dip your finger into the water and slowly peel the design or the paper off of the block. And then from doing that, I guess I don't really know what kind of science behind it is or how it really works, but basically when you're using the water and peeling the design off, it takes the paper off but leaves the design on it. It worked where I got to see the design, but the paper itself, there was, I don't know, a thin layer of paper that still was left on it. The thin layer of paper actually made it harder to carve. Like, this lino block is super hard to carve anyway because it's not one of those soft blocks. So basically I was trying to carve my design with this hard block, plus having the challenge of now going through this thin layer of paper. What I'm saying is it worked for this design in particular, but I'm still finding that there is still paper residue that I just can't even get off. Either it's the medium or the paper or something. There's still a residue on the lino block itself, and I think it's screwing up my final stamps. After doing all that rigmarole and trying to figure it out and using like the wrong ink and whatever, I decided to just go to Guelph and get like literal, like legit art supplies. So I ended up going to Guelph to Wyndham Arts and grabbing actual supplies. I'm going to go more in depth with it in the next coming clips because I actually start going over stuff. But yeah, come with me on this little journey of making stamps and learning the whole process behind it. It was a lot of fun. I created a lot of clothes, but yeah, you're going to get to see that in just a second. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. So after carving my block, I tried making a whole bunch of prints with it, but for the longest time, literally I've been using this stamp. This has been the only like lino block stamp I've ever made ever. And for this one, I've literally only ever used either screen printing ink or acrylic ink. I actually bought an ink pad at one point because this was small enough to fit on an ink pad. But basically, that's all I've been using. I've never actually used proper lino block printing ink or whatever. So I figured I would go and actually buy stuff that was meant for lino block printing and not just using whatever material I had around. Because after carving this guy, when I was trying to do my prints, they were all coming out weird. They were either too globby or they were not coming out enough. This was just on like normal printer paper. So I figured if I wanted to transition into actually printing it on clothes, I needed something a bit more reliable, and hopefully buying actual, like, the right materials would actually help me out doing that. So I ended up buying the fabric ink. So this is actually meant to be for fabric. It says, and it's meant for block printing on it. So speedball block printing fabric. So I bought this one, and then I actually bought another speedball ink too, and this would just be for normal paper. So I'm hoping that if I actually make some prints of this, it will work too. And then also, literally carving this thing, it was like carving wood. It's so hard to carve, and my hand hurt after that. Well, my hand hurt, but basically I wanted to try something else. This is really expensive though. I mean, like, not really expensive, but expensive enough. But this is called Speedy Carve. So I'm hoping for the next little design that I do, it won't be as hard to carve, and it might be more enjoyable, and it might be easier to like use as a stamp for clothes. But I think I might actually carve this for this video. So hopefully at the end we can see the process with that. But yeah, so now I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like with the new ink, and I think I'm gonna stamp on some clothes. All right, so now it's time to test what this ink is gonna look like on a t-shirt. So we got this shirt here. I'm gonna put it on the board like so. So this is just literally a random woman's XL shirt that I had laying around. I also have this piece of glass that came from a broken picture frame. So this is what I'm gonna use to transfer or to roll the ink. So hopefully that works. I have my stamp, and I have the fabric screen printing ink here. I just have to get the roller. All right, so we got the roller here. I've never done this before, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it and hope for the best, you know? I don't know how much ink you're technically supposed to squirt on to the little piece of glass, but I assume not a lot. So I'll do like a little glob about that size. This might not be enough, but we'll see. And you roll back and forth like this to make sure that the roller has an even amount of ink on it, and then you roll onto the stamp. I'm trying to think how I can show this. Roll onto the stamp like this. Try your best to cover the stamp as much as possible with an even coat of the ink. Again, I'm talking as if I do this all the time. This is literally some of my first times doing this. So you're coming along with me while I am learning how to also do this. Now to try my best to place the stamp as best as I can in the center here. I'm gonna press down. This is one of the hardest parts, is trying to make sure you have an even distribution of weight on the stamp so that the stamp comes off onto the shirt or whatever you're stamping on properly. So I just like lean on it, but then I also have this candle top, if I can find that as well, that kind of helps me evenly disperse the ink onto the canvas. This thing, it's literally just the top of a candle. I use this to try to evenly distribute the weight. All right, here we go. Let's see, I'll pull it this way so you guys can see. Sick. I've never used this fabric paint, so I don't know how actually opaque this should be. I feel like I think maybe I didn't put enough ink, or the shirt absorbed the ink a little bit more than I was anticipating, but to be honest, that's pretty good. I'm gonna try to add a little bit more ink maybe on the next shirt to see if it will do something cool, or maybe make it a little bit bolder. That turned out pretty all right. All right, we're gonna do the same thing now with this men's size small long sleeve. Maybe if we add a little bit more ink. I don't know how long it takes for this ink to dry, so maybe I'm waiting too long, being too much of a slow poke when it comes to printing this stuff. But here we go. Might be a little crooked, I don't know. Again, this is the beauty about doing it on the floor in your basement. If it's a little crooked, that's because you know your boy is here doing it with his hands and love of the game doing it. So if you get a design that has just a little bit of a crooked, or get a shirt that's a little bit crooked, it's okay, because it's made out of love. That's the whole point of getting one of these shirts, is that you're here for the experience and the knowledge that this took time to spread on the ink and stick it on the shirt and carve out the stamp. Hell yeah. Okay, so at the art store, I got this little block of Easy Carve. I want to try it out. I saw online that you could print on tracing paper and then it will transfer onto the block because the tracing paper doesn't hold ink very well. Supposedly, that's what's supposed to happen. So I'm going to try that out right now and I'm going to show you guys if it actually works. So I want to make a blonde boy stamp. So I have it in the right dimensions of 4x6. I added crop marks here so that when it prints out on the tracing paper, I could cut it out. I might not even need it. I might just literally take the giant piece of paper and try to transfer it. But yeah, so the PDF is ready and now I'm just going to print it. All right, so it was a nightmare getting this tracing paper to go through the printer for some reason. I guess this paper's too light. Couldn't read that it was in the back and it was awful, but we got it to work. We have the print, but now we got to transfer it to the block. I'm going to try just rubbing it with my nail and hopefully the ink transfers. Oh my god, it's actually working. Whoa! All right, so it actually worked. Ta-da! Hello, everyone. So I got the stamp done. I am beyond excited with how the stamp turned out. If I'm going to be honest, I've already tested it. I just couldn't wait. I was in kind of just this mindset. I didn't want to record anything. I just wanted to finish it and do it myself, just listening to music and everything. But I'm now here to document and tell you all that I finished the stamp. I'll show you the examples. So I stamped it in my sketchbook. I tried the new ink and it's a game changer. It makes it so much easier to one, print and it doesn't glob. It's perfect. If you have the means to try out the actual real deal, try it out because I just did and it's a life changer. Also, after buying the Speedy Cut, this is another game changer. It's literally so easy to carve it. You can do really nice crisp lines, curved lines. No matter the lines, it doesn't matter because you're not worrying about straining yourself when it comes to like pushing too hard on the block. So anyway, a lot of different stuff going on. I'm so happy I can finally now put Blonde Boy stamped onto clothes and make some jeans with that because for the longest time it was just with my little Ronnie stamp that I have here. So now I'm also going to make an updated version of Ronnie with the Speedy Cut. But basically, I have an idea. So after testing out the stamp in the sketchbook, I've been really thinking about what I want to do with the stamps. Yes, I want to make clothes with them, which I will probably be doing in this video as well. But I think it'd be really cool to do a GIF or like a little stop motion animation. I mean, animation might be a little bit of a stretch for what I'm trying to do here, but I really like it when you have sort of a similar thing that's happening in each frame, but then the background changes. But basically, what I've been doing here, I'll go grab it right now. I just made a very easy template on Photoshop that goes on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So it has 3 different rectangles that I ended up cutting out of a bunch of different construction paper and everything. But basically the goal is that the stamp will just fit exactly into these rectangles. And what I did with all the cut up construction paper is I made different little collage scenes on each one, and the goal is I think I'm gonna do a Blonde Boy stamp. I'm gonna try my best to stamp it in the same spot every single time, but then once it's done and I stamped all the different rectangles, I'm gonna scan them into my computer, put them on, I don't know, Premiere or something, and make like a small GIF where the stamp will stay the same, but the backgrounds will change. And I think it just might be cool. If you really look at them, there's nothing too crazy. They're just a bunch of scribbles with markers and crayons and collage, just trying to get some creative juices going. We're going to stamp these guys and then we're going to see what this looks like. So I just finished stamping on all the little cards over there, but I figured I'd take this time while I'm waiting for them to dry to show off that I'm wearing the new pants that I actually stamped on the other day with the new stamp I made. It's hard to see. There was a huge snowfall that just happened and I'm gonna go outside and shovel it. So we're gonna put these babies to the test. Gonna put some labor into these pants. Gonna wear them in, you know? When I come in, hopefully the cards are gonna be dry. I'm gonna scan them we'll do a little animation, and then I'm going to show you as soon as I finish that on the screen what it looks like. So yes, see you soon. All right, so here are all the little stamp pieces here. I scanned it, I brought it in, I made a little GIF of all of it. I'm going to show it to you guys right now. So this is what it looks like. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's very small and just very minimal and stuff, but this was like my little vision I had. I think today, after making this little animation, today I'm gonna maybe stamp on some pants. I want to do an all over blonde boy pair of pants. I think some blonde boy pants would be good. I think I'm gonna continue doing this stamp thing, so let's go make some pants. All right, I'm about to do a plan overview for what I'm gonna do with these pair of pants. So I have a few pair of pants behind me right now that I'm gonna do. But basically what I have here is I have the multiple different colors here. And then I have the paint roller here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out some of the colors on the pants, use the paint roller, roll it, and then bring out the stamp and stamp it. That's the plan. So here we go. All right, so here I'm going to go. I might leave this one for last, but basically I'm going to glob these on right now. And I know as I put on the different colors, I'm going to put them on sporadically and then do it. So I'm hoping that some of the colors will actually blend together and make different colors. So I'm just going to throw down colors randomly like this. And then when it's time to actually blend it, they hopefully will, I don't know, I'll make orange and I'll make purple and stuff. And green. Don't forget green. And I'm going to have to do the same thing on the back side of all this too. Holy shit. To make all the, oh my god, damn it, that was hard. Okay, there's a part of me that already likes the way this looks just as it is. I think it's super cool. All right, so now we take our trusty little roller, and all I'm gonna do is just roll from bottom to top. Now I do this side. It's starting to get pretty muddy on this side, so I think I should just stop right there. It's pretty cool, honestly. So that's what I'm going to do on the front and the backs of all of my pants moving forward. All right, so now the pants that are sitting behind me have fully dried. It's been a minute, so yeah, for sure they're dried. But while we were waiting for the pants to dry, we went to the city and got some more Easy Carve. I got the Speedball one, but then also there's a store in Toronto called Above Ground that sells their own brand. So I got this as well to try it out because it's literally half the price. Also, I got some more Speedball fabric ink, this time in white. For these guys, the colors seem a little bit darker, so I thought it would be fun to add some white. We're gonna get some blonde boy stamping done. So I finished stamping on the pants. The lighting is kind of bad in this where I put the pants to dry right now, but here's all of them. So we have this one here, these ones, and this one. I'm really stoked with how these turn out. So these ones I went all over the whole front, and this one I kept it just minimal, just doing a couple faces up it. And then this one I did the same thing all over. Still contemplating how I want to do the back, but yeah, so this is done now. Gonna wait for it to dry and then continue on with that. So I pivoted a little bit with my idea of what I was gonna do on the back of the pants. What I decided on doing was I cut out these little stars or these starbursts or however you want to say it out of denim, and then I took my screen printing ink and I painted different colors on them. So right now, some of these are pinned on the back, and these are going to be on the back calf of the pants. So when you're walking from behind, you'll be able to see them. So this is them pinned, and this is what they look like sewn on the back. So I have just a denim one there, and then on this one, I painted a red version. I think they look super cool. When I was waiting for these to all dry, I started working on another stamp. I need to go downstairs to show you guys. But here, so if we go into the couch studio, boom, I made a little Ronnie rubber stamp. I'm actually so happy with how both of these turned out. So now I have a blonde boy and a Ronnie one. So the possibilities are endless now of what I can stamp on with my two little characters. I'll show you what it looks like on as a little stamp in my sketchbook. So this is what the stamp looks like in my sketchbook. Again, I am so happy with how it turned out. I can't wait to actually start stamping with this guy on clothes. I'm probably gonna do that today a little bit. Really happy with how this turned out. All right, so I'm gonna make a couple stamp shirts now with the new stamps that I carved out. I thought honestly it'd be easier to do the shirts on the screen printing machine just because the machine is actually meant to hold a shirt and to have like an actual surface, like a hard surface to do the printing and stuff. So I'm excited because now I can have some more pieces that I could put in my own closet, but also get some pieces that I can hopefully put on the website that can be for sale along with the pants and stuff. So yeah, let's get stamping on some shirts. It is now time to showcase some of the pieces that I made. I want to do like just a little quick 1-2 fashion show where I go through some of the stuff that actually fits me and showcase some of it. So here we go. Here's the first shirt. All right, here's the first shirt. We have a little bit of just like this little green button up here. Normally with a lot of my clothes, I am a very big maximalist with anything, my designs, my clothing, my art, whatever. I like to have a whole bunch of shit going on. But this one, I try to keep it like, I don't know, towing the line where I have a bunch of stamps all over. So still trying to scratch that maximalist itch in my brain, but still keep it minimal at the same time, or plain, to keep it just kind of chill and not too over the top. So for this one in particular, on the front we just have just a couple Ronnie stamps, and then on the back is just plain. So with some of these shirts I do a lot of this similar style, but then with some other ones I do a little bit of variations. So here's the next shirt. All right, this is shirt number 2. This one, similar thing to the previous shirt, a little bit of stamps all on the front. But then this time on the back, we have a screen printed couch design. So this one's just a little, same thing, a little bit of a variation. All right, it's time for the next shirt. All right, this one's the third shirt. A little bit of blonde boy stamp action, a little bit of summertime feels with this linen shirt. Again, nothing on the back, just keeping it low key with the blonde boys on the front. Next shirt. All right, this shirt is similar to like what I was doing with the pants. So a little bit of a mix of the stamped shirt and then the little paint action I was doing with the pants. So on the front, we have the white blonde boy stamps with the rolled on paint on the front. Same thing on the back. We got the rolled on paint here. Really stoked about this one. Now on to the next shirt. All right, for this shirt, we got a long sleeve one here, long sleeve button up. Similar concept to the short sleeve one I just put on previously. This time though, I wanted to showcase it with the tie, keeping it classy, keeping it a little bit semi-formal, a little bit street, a little bit profesh. That's what it's all about. So on the back again, same thing, paint splotches. On the front, we got the blonde boy stamps, we got the paint all the way up the sleeves on both sides. Really like this one. And to keep on trend with the whole long sleeve thing, I also have this long sleeve button up. However, it does not fit me. Beautiful, nice light blue color though, with the blonde boy stamps on the front. So these are, I think, some examples of the shirts that I stamped on. Now it's time to go to the pants. All right, now we're focusing on the pants. So here's one of the first pairs of pants that I did. Got a nice yellow pair of Nautica pants with the all over sort of rolled on screen printed ink, and then we have some white blonde boy stamps all over the front, and on the back we have this painted denim starburst on the calf just to tie in the whole front and back together. Yeah, this is the first pair of pants. Okay, for the second pair of pants, I painted on a pair of Gap khakis. So again, on the front, the rolled on screen printed ink with white blonde boy stamps. This time on the back, we have just normal denim starbursts to tie in the front and the back. Similar concept, just different pair of pants. All right, for the third pair of pants, these ones are painted on just a pair of light blue Levi's. These ones are a little bit tight on me, but I just absolutely love the color so much. These ones I think are my favorite colorways. But just every single little bit of color on here just looks so nice in my opinion. Again, rolled on screen printed ink, stamped blonde boys on the front, We got yellow starbursts on the back. Again, just great colors and a beautiful pair of jeans. All right, everyone, now just to conclude the video, I wanted to showcase the last two pair of jeans. They're just a little bit too skinny for me. However, here's the other pair. So just a different kind of colorway, same concept, rolled on screen printing. However, I used like a hot pink and a white this time. And the Blonde Boy stamps are black. So this is another all over on the front. And then on the back, we got the white starburst on the calves, the tie-in, everything. Super stoked with this colorway. Just wish they were a little bit more baggier on me. Same with this one. We got the hot pink and the white. This time though, not too crazy of stamps. For Blonde Boy, just a little bit down the front, and on the back again with a white starburst accent. So anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I had so much fun. Literally, stamping has never been something that I've really explored too much on, and this video I did a whole bunch of stamps. So thank you all for coming with me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like on the video if you rocked with it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think and what you would like to see in a future video. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and have yourself a great day.